This video is sponsored by PageProof.
First things first, I'm Mike Parkinson for CreativePro, and we're going to make a professional 3D graphic in PowerPoint. Let's get started. Hello, I have built thousands of graphics for my customers and for an add-in I have called Build a Graphic, which is what you're seeing right here. It's a library of vector-based graphics. And I learned something very surprising is I don't have to build all of these assets in Adobe Illustrator if I learned how I could build it in PowerPoint. And what you're seeing are graphics that were partially or completely built in PowerPoint. Even if the graphics are 3D, I learned how to build them in PowerPoint, and it blew my mind that this was possible. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you from scratch how you can build a really cool 3D pyramid graphic in PowerPoint. What we're going to do is we're going to start with a blank slide, and then I'm going to go to Insert Shapes. I'm going to insert an isosceles triangle. Go ahead and insert an isosceles triangle, and then I'm going to go to Insert, again, Shapes, and I'm going to choose a rectangle. And I'm going to draw it so it bifurcates or cuts the triangle down the center. I'm going to change the color so you can see what we're working on. The next thing I'm going to do is select both of these objects, and when you do that, the ribbon in PowerPoint is contextual. It'll bring up a Format or Shape Format tab option, and you'll have the ability to choose Merge Shapes. Merge Shapes gives you the option of, it's the equivalent of Pathfinder in Adobe Illustrator. It allows you to use Boolean functions or cut away or add to existing shapes. So I'm going to choose Fragment. Once I do that, it now breaks up the elements into individual puzzle pieces, if you will. I'm going to go ahead and delete the pieces I need. I'm going to recolor it so you can see that there's two elements. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Insert. I'm going to choose a polygon. So I'm going to insert a polygon, and I'm going to draw it like this. I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. I'm going to also change the color so you can see it. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this, because this is going to be how I cut away from those two halves of the pyramid to create my three-dimensional levels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it. And I want to change the color so you can see it. So I duplicated it. And so now I have this little spit or piece of the polygon showing. So I'm going to select the cookie dough first, then select the cookie cutter. This is important. So the order that you select things in PowerPoint to use those Boolean or merge shapes functions matters. So think of it this way. You can have 1,000 cookie cutters, but if you don't have cookie dough, you can't make cookies. So always select the cookie dough first, shift click the cookie cutter, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose Merge Shapes, Subtract. Once I have that, I'm going to take this shape right here, and I'm going to duplicate it to create the levels. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it 1, 2, 3 times. And what you're going to do is also select them to make sure that they're evenly distributed. And under your Align tool, or you can go to Home, it's in multiple places. I can go to Arrange, Align, and Distribute vertically. So I'm going to go ahead and arrange, align, and distribute them until I'm happy with the positioning of them. The next thing I want to do is I want to copy these little cutaway pieces. This is the cookie cutters. Copy it because I'm going to need it 2 times. One for the right side, one for the left side. So I copy it. Now I have it in my clipboard. I am going to select the cookie dough first, shift click the cookie cutter, choose Shape Format or Format depending upon what version of PowerPoint you have, choose Merge Shapes, Subtract. I would paste it in from my clipboard again, shift click the cookie cutter, and then go ahead and do the same thing for this side, Merge Shapes, Subtract, until I have something that looks like this. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to edit points. So you have the ability in PowerPoint that if you right or control click on a vector-based shape, you can choose Edit Points. Once you do that, similar to Adobe Illustrator, if you're familiar with that, I can right or control click and choose Delete Point. So what I'm going to do is delete the elements I don't need for both sides. So I'm going to choose Edit Points, delete, and delete until I'm left with something like this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to insert a diamond shape. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a diamond shape, and this is going to be my level, my base, if you will, for the level above. Go ahead and position it so I'm happy with it, size it so I'm happy with it right here. So I'm going to be happy with it. I'm going to change the color so you can see what I'm doing. So here it is. And then I would duplicate that for each one of these. So I go ahead and duplicate it one and scale it appropriately. Get it close enough. That's what matters. Close enough for what we're trying to do. Scale it down. Right here. Bring it in. Boom. Right here. And do know that in PowerPoint you have Z depth, or layers, if you will. So what I mean by that is we can see that the different polygons are on different layers. If, again, you're familiar with Adobe Illustrator, there are layers in PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these, and I'm going to choose Send to Back. So you can go to, under the Home tab, you can go to Arrange and Send to Back, or I can just, in my Shape Format tab, say Send to Back. Once I do that, I'm left with something that looks like this. And I'm going to recolor them. So I'm going to select all of these, and I'm going to color them a color that I'm happy with, whatever that color winds up being. Once you do that, you now have the ability to add text if you want to. You can add a drop shadow if you want to. You can change the background color. So that is how you build a really cool 3D professional PowerPoint based pyramid graphic in not too many steps. Good luck and enjoy.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel. And for thousands more how-to articles and tutorials, visit our website, CreativePro.com, and become a member today. Thanks for learning with us.